First of all, I am wearing a Spanish jersey. Can anyone guess which Spanish jersey I'm wearing? You should know by the colors, Rocky and Sakil. It
Should
is
we give should
green.
we should we give the viewers 10 seconds to write in the comments right now?
You get 6 seconds.
Continuing the ISB podcast. I'm your host, Sahil, of course, continuing with Rahi and Roy Cito. And today we are talking the wonderful country of España, who seems to be winning in all faculties of football, men's, women's, and now they come up with an Olympic gold. So, boys, my topic for this is when we were all sleeping, suddenly Spain has now become the most dominant team in world football. And how have they done that? What's going on? What is going on, friends, amigos? Explain it to me.
I don't know, maybe you were sleeping, but the rest of us were watching these young players all over. And we saw Lamine Yamal and what he can do already. We knew they were going to be dangerous. Let's not forget they won the Nations League. And that was a big moment, I think, for this young team. And it was sort of a big step on their journey to then win the Euros. Of course, there's the Women's World Cup in that mix as well. There's the Olympics. But the answer is they've always been this way, right? It's nothing new. It's not that they suddenly woke up and became dominant. The most dominant periods have been Spanish teams. I mean, think about that Spanish team that won the World Cup sandwiched in between 2 Euros, right? That was arguably the most dominant national team ever. The Spanish team generally has been good. There are you go through some lull periods, but this is just more of the same, producing young player after young player who not only is tactically intelligent, but incredibly skilled and just understands the game. Like these players are so young and they just know what to do and when to do it, when to defend, when to cover, when to make the run. I don't know, Roy. It's incredible the education they have in Spain.
Yep. And first of all, I am wearing a Spanish jersey. Can anyone guess which Spanish jersey I'm wearing? You should know by the colors, Rocky and Sakil. It is green.
Should we give the viewers 10 seconds to write in the comments right now?
You get 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Guess now.
Rocky. I know the answer, so I'll let Rocky guess.
Iker Casillas, is that right?
Here it is.
Iker Casillas.
One of the greats.
Probably my favorite greats
player of all time. So
one of the greats, yes.
That is point number 1. Yeah. Point number 2, Rocky, you talked about the players a lot, and they deserve a lot of credit here. I don't think the players are the reason that Spain is as dominant as they are right now. One hint as to why is they're not just dominating on the men's side. They're doing it on the women's side as well. They're absolutely killing it for the first time pretty much ever. They were kind of quiet up until recently on the women's side.
Fourth place in the Olympics.
No, yeah, but saying before, overall, like in the World Cup and stuff, right? And Barcelona won the the women's Champions League. So
there's a reason for that, and it's not because of the exceptional players. Look at Spain's roster now versus past Spain's. This Spain roster is good, but we're learning about a lot of these players now.
Yeah.
So these aren't superstars that 2 years ago we were looking at this team and saying, what a combination of superstars this team has, the best in the world. Yeah. No, it's not necessarily that. For me, the reason Spain is dominating, there are 2 reasons. One, it's continuation of coaches. Look at their coaches. Look where those coaches came from. They're not doing what other teams are doing, which is cycling through top coaches around the world. They're not doing what the U.S. is doing, which is getting Pochettino, a top name from another country that's never been involved with this soccer in that country. They are promoting from within. De La Fuente, what he coached, the U19s, the U21s, the U23s. He's been involved with the Spanish national team system forever. He's been promoting these players. He's been watching. And secondly, that's the same for the women's side as well. Secondly, because of this, they have a continuation of style. They are not every time they switch a coach, they're completely blowing up the tactical system, the style of play, the way they want to play. They're keeping those elements that have been working and building upon them. So those are the two reasons why Spain is so dominant. They've been patient. It's been a bit of a lull since 2012. When's the last time they won a Euro? 2012, I think.
Yeah.
But
I wanted to talk about that. I agree with you, actually, Roy. I do think it's the system and this, tiki-taka, and then the sort of, evolution of tiki-taka as well, which was implemented a while back. But here's the point that I wanted to make. So everyone, I think the journalists, when I meant who went to sleep, I meant the journalists went to sleep because no one picked, Spain to win since, the 2012 team. But here's what's happened, actually. Think about this. So there was the bad 2014 World Cup, and then there was the bad 2016 Euros. But after that, if you think how they've been eliminated in penalties every single tournament after that, right? Excluding that one Nations League where they lost to France in the final, they've there's forget Nations League for now because there was a couple of Nations League things that happened. But taking the Nations League out of it, in the World Cups and the Euros, they were eliminated by Italy in penalties and Russia in penalties. So it was penalties. It wasn't being beat in the run of play, right?
But they're tying Russia, dude. They're tying Russia in the 2018
Morocco then in 20.
And Morocco in penalties, as well.
And they have it's that weird host thing, right? It's like Morocco wasn't the host, but they almost became de facto host, right, of the World Cup in Qatar. And then Russia is the host. So it's a little weird, I think, to play.
But you take the penalties out of it, they haven't lost really, this team.
They're tying teams they shouldn't tie against. Let's be real. They should never tie. I get it's the host, whatever. The host doesn't always do well. It's hit or miss. But tying Russia and tying Morocco, that's not a team that's performing. That's why journalists fell asleep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but even in those games, I mean, if you want to talk stats, you look at expected goals. I mean, they should have won both those games easily, right? Russia and Morocco.
So this system they've put into place is truly now they've ascended to the top of world football. And so now kind of extrapolating that out, right? There's no other real dominant teams in world football. The closest is probably Argentina. Now you can say, Argentina had, at least on the men's side, right?
They are more dominant, Argentina, right now, and the men's side, right? Because you have the World Cup to boot. You have the your continental title. You have the you have the Copa America, and then you have the World Cup, and now it's they've done now what basically Spain did, the other Spanish team, right? That 2010 World Cup winning team where you get the 2 Euros and a World Cup in between. Argentina has 2 Copa Americas and the World Cup in between. So, yeah, they are more dominant in certain ways, not across men's and women's, but I think you have to say Argentina is currently the more dominant national team. Roy, I think, has something to say because he just disappeared off camera and then he came back on camera.
The podcast listeners will never know what I am doing.
Okay. I mean, look, but if I were to look at anyway, we're talking Spain, not really talking Argentina. We can talk about that if you guys want to segue into that. We can.
I think Roy
wants to. Roy put his Argentina jersey on instead of the Spanish jersey.
The Spanish jersey.
Over. What was the point, Roy? What point are you trying to make with that? I'm confused.
National pride is number one.
Okay. Okay. I'll say this. I don't think Argentina has a better system than Spain, frankly.
Yeah, but I don't buy into the system talk. I think Spain has changed the way they play. It's not the same tiki-taka team. That's not the way they're playing now because they have 2 incredible wingers who are so dangerous. They're much more direct than any Spanish team I've seen in my lifetime. So I don't believe that it's the system that's endured. That's why they are the way they are. They have changed because they have insane wingers now. Okay. I'm not in agreement with you guys. I really am not.
I think they've retained it. And it's not just the tiki-taka. Sure, the tiki-taka is different in that they're not doing one-touch football, move. It's different. It's more direct. It's more speed on the wings. It's more dominance on the wings. But if you watch this last Euro, there was one team in that tournament that still had that magic. That old school magic that we used to watch with old Brazilian teams, that we used to watch with old Spanish teams, with old Argentinian teams. There was one team in that tournament, and that magic, sometimes it could be talked about as tiki-taka. Sometimes it's this stylish play that isn't always so direct. Sometimes it relies on individual brilliance. Spain was still doing that. And that's what I'm talking about. They've always done that. They've always relied on individual brilliance, beautiful plays in the middle. They still did that.
Yeah.
I actually think Argentina is more about system, and that Spain has better players at the moment in totality, I think, than Argentina. But this Argentina team has learned to play together so well
Yeah, I agree
that
with that.
they
Actually,
are very, very difficult to beat. They don't concede goals. And then, of course, they have the best player that ever lived.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good topic, I think, for another time. We should debate the right, maybe as we lead up to the finalissimo where the two teams will play against each other. That's
Yep.
very interesting. So overall, Rahi's answer to this question sounds like this reason Spain is dominant is the players and their ability to adapt. And Roy sounds like for him it's the system. So viewers out there, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think it's the system? Do you think it's the players? Do you think it's the Spanish food or something else that we are not taking into account? Or maybe the lovely weather they have over there, or who
Las
knows what.
siestas. Las siestas.
Oh, that's a good
That
point.
could be it. That
Yeah.
could be it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They get that midday break. Makes all the difference.
I don't know. Are Dani Olmo and Morata and all these guys taking naps and
Yes.
during the match? Yeah.
Some of them are young enough where they're definitely still taking naps.
I mean, Lamine Yamal is definitely taking naps, right? Like on a daily basis. So
I think
Do
he
the
still
high
has
schools in
nap time
Spain
at school.
require naps? I don't know.
Do they have recess over there where you take a nap after
They have
recess?
naps instead of
Okay.
recess. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Maybe he took a nap at halftime as well,
Could
Of the
be
game.
like 10-minute power nap.
That's
5-minute
that's
team
good.
talk.
That's
Yeah.
good. All right, everyone. So for those of you enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel, and those listening to the podcast on audio. We will be back, later with more from the great world of football. And I will end as I like to do. Football is back, and keep watching the beautiful game.
Football is life.
He's through.